Welcome into Game Night. I am Derek Forrest. Joining me today on the show is Jake Rom, who is back from vacation, and I have a bone to pick with you.
Oh, no.
I sent you a text
Uh-oh.
when you were on vacation. You never texted me back.
I don't remember
Did you
what
get
it
the text?
is.
I sent you one text.
Well, I'll say this. One day down in North Carolina, that's where I was, the cellular data service, anything Wi-Fi, anything service was completely out. So if it was that day, there's a good chance I either got it and then I got like 500 other messages. Not 500. I'm not that famous. 30 messages. And then I just kind of like swiped through them all. Or I just don't like it. No.
Probably
I don't think that's... I honestly don't even know what it is. So what was it?
I sent you a graphic. It was a score of a game. Our first game matchup in college football.
Were you Louisville?
Yeah.
And you destroyed them?
Yeah.
I do remember
You
that.
did see it. See, brutal.
But that's still, it probably was the, I'll check afterwards.
Were you
probably
Louisville,
the day,
he says? Yeah, I was Louisville.
it was probably the day that I got all the messages, so I quickly saw it, and then I probably was just like, oh, yeah.
Fired.
Oh, no.
Fired. But after the episode.
Oh, I was going to say I can walk off. All right. That's a bummer.
All right, let's get to some news, because we do have big news with the Washington Nationals, because James Wood on the 10-day injured list right now with a left oblique strain. This happened in the 5th inning of last night's game on a swing. We don't think it's serious, but we get into the point of, like, what do the Nats do in the next 10 days? Do they end up losing more games? Do they decide it's time to sit out James Wood? But it's all bad timing. They're on a 6-game losing streak as of this taping. Not good news for the Nationals.
No, and they just traded Foster Griffin and Luis Garcia Jr. at the trade deadline, even though they got a harem of people back, mostly pitchers, which is what they needed. This just makes me think, depending on the severity of this, that this season's done. It's over. CJ's going to cook. He's been cooking like crazy. I think he was NL Player of the Month. So I mean, that explains it right there. The guy's not having a hangover from the All-Star game or anything like that. Good thing he didn't compete in the Home Run Derby. That would have maybe done something. But I think depending on the severity of this James Wood injury and the current state that they're in and the guys that they got rid of, this season, the towel's going to be thrown. They're not going to say that. Butera's not going to say that. He's going to fight for every win and everything that he possibly can, but I don't think it really matters. I mean, the guy's proven himself. But this right here is like a nail in the coffin. If it gets any further down the road and they come out of this, 1-9 or 2-8 in this stretch, I mean, it's done.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, because it was okay that they obviously got rid of a couple bats at the trade deadline, Curtis Mead, Luis Garcia Jr. Now you lose your biggest bat in James Wood, and injuries happen in Major League Baseball, so they could end up being fine. They could go 6-4 in the next 10 days, and we'll be like, oh, well, we don't even really needed to dive deeper into this injury. But yeah, definitely a concern, definitely something to watch out for. And the fact that it's an oblique, considering all the rotation you're doing in the outfield, throwing and hitting as well, it could be something that lingers for the rest of the year as well. But I did want to mention something completely off topic, but you did mention the All-Star game. Do you think at the time Adley Rutschman knew he was being traded? You said...
Oh, I was getting weird vibes from him. I don't remember if I said, like, hey, how much do you love Baltimore and the Orioles? But, like, any question, he just didn't seem like he wanted to be there. Now, I think I was told that he was, like, the last person to make the All-Star for the AL. So maybe he was just kind of like, is that close to having a week off and vacation, whatever. But maybe he did. Maybe he did know, because there was something off with Adley Rutschman. He doesn't typically respond, or I wouldn't say act. He wasn't acting negative, but just usually he's a little more chipper. Wasn't very chipper to wear the old Orioles orange that day, I guess.
Yeah, and unfortunately no longer with Baltimore. We do want to talk Washington Commanders, because they are still in training camp, and they put the pads on yesterday, all of that stuff. But they got a guy returning. Fabian Moreau was drafted by the Redskins at the time back in 2017. He was with them for a couple of years, defensive back. They do need defensive back help. They've improved the defense, certainly, but any extra help can be beneficial, and they bring back someone who's pretty familiar for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the response to him coming to this team, Ahkello Witherspoon was put on the reserve / retired list. Now, I don't know why retired's on there, but I guess it's on there for some reason. They're just kind of combining it all into one thing. But yeah, it's cool to see Moreau back. When I first got here in 2019, that was, I believe, one of his last seasons. I think 2020 was his last season with the team. So I got to see him for a couple of seasons here with this team. And, it was a guy that, wasn't starting at cornerback in his later years here with Washington, but was definitely getting a lot of time, and he was, appearing in all the games, being an inside corner, nickel, dime kind of guy. Just another piece of this secondary needs, a guy that's a veteran as well that can help with some of the younger guys. And we don't really know the status of Trey Amos right now. Is he going to be ready week 1? Is he going to be fully healthy? Is he going to be coming back with a little nick or whatever? We don't know. A guy like Fabian Moreau being in there with guys like Mike Sainer still and everyone else that they have in the secondary could be a good addition. Yeah, for sure. And Alex Flum caught up with Fabian earlier today at camp.
It's funny, when I landed, it felt like I was coming home, man. It did. Being in Dallas Airport, I haven't been there since I left. And just being back in the building, like I said, seeing familiar faces, being back with Revo, Terry, Tressway, like seeing these guys. Tim came back, so it's cool to see them all. And like I said, just blessed to be here.
He hasn't been to Dulles in a while. Dulles looks way different now. It has a metro since he's gotten back.
And it's going to look way different because they're now going to put a ton of money into
it. Oh, yeah, that too.
So, yeah, yeah. But, we talk about this Washington Commanders defense. What are your expectations when we think about this defense heading into 2026?
Can't get any worse than last year. That's my first thing.
We hope.
It really can't get any worse than last year.
So we said 2 years ago.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But I really do believe that it is a step up. How big of that step, that's yet to be determined. But I do feel like the pieces are there. The defensive coordinator, in my opinion, is there for this defense to shine. Not just the secondary. Linebacking core looks fast. There's that clip going around. Sonny Styles hitting the hole and hitting Bill right in the hole on like first day of pads, which everyone's going crazy over, like we did last year with the Bill jump cut at camp. So I'm excited because the defense looks fast. The defense looks strong. It looks better. In the secondary right now, even with all the guys that are kind of in and out and kind of injured and dealing with some lingering stuff, looks solid.
Yeah. Let's turn our attention to the Baltimore Ravens. And we kind of knew this was coming. Zay Flowers, their top offensive weapon outside of Lamar Jackson. Well, I guess that's debatable when you think about Derrick Henry, right? But he signs a new 4-year extension worth $140 million total, 108 of it's guaranteed. I mean, he put up over 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns last year, so definitely well-deserving. And when we talk about wide receivers that really need to help out Lamar, and he's never had that help, he might actually have that help now in Flowers.
Well, let's hope that this contract proves one thing, that they finally have a number 1 wide receiver, and B, a guy that they can depend on, not just in the regular season, but when we get to the bigger moments, when we get to the playoffs, when teams scheme a little bit different than they do in the regular season because they're focusing on what have you done good the entire season, what have you done well that we need to shut down. Whether that's going to be the running game this year, whether that's going to be through the passing game of Lamar Jackson. We're not going to find out because obviously they have a new offensive coordinator as well in Declan Doyle. So we're going to find out real soon what their offense is going to be about, just like we are with the Commanders, as well with David Blau. So I'm happy for him that he got this money. I can't believe it's this much money. I mean, he had a really good season, and you know how the market resets with everything. But I mean, this puts him with the equal money of a guy like Jay Jettis, Justin Jefferson. But obviously, he had his contract a couple years ago, so it's a little different. Yeah.
Here's head coach Jesse Mentor talking about Zay Flowers.
Shout out to Zay Flowers. When your best players are just the right type of people and they bring the right just mentality and everything marries together, like those are the type of guys. It's such a great thing when stuff like that happens for them. Nothing better as a coach than to see those guys get what they deserve. And, so really happy for Zay and excited for him. And just, again, I can't wait to see him thrive in our offense.
All right, coming up on the show, our Alex Flum sits down with running back Rachaad White, who's looking to make an impact with the Commanders in his first year on the team. That's coming up next on Game Night. Welcome back into Game Night. Derek Forrest. Earlier today, Alex Flum caught up with one of the members of the running back room for the Washington Commanders. It should be pretty outstanding. We got Kaytron Allen, we got Bill Krosky-Merritt, We've got Rashad White, who could be a great, solid 1-2-3 punch. We're going to hear from Rashad White, who should be catching a lot of passes out of the backfield.
What's the love been like from the Burgundy and Gold fans so far?
It's been great. Been very welcoming. Man, I'm blessed. I'm grateful. It seems like a lot of diehard fans out here. They believe that Burgundy and Gold, so I'm just honored to be a part of that.
Everybody I talk to about you says, man, this guy is all football. This guy is so committed to just going out there and being the best. So how much does that mentality help you? And how ready are you to kind of unleash that with a new team this season?
Yeah, I love the game. It has done a lot for me, my family, just me in life. Taught me so many different lessons, helped mold me, the character, who I am today as a man, how I speak to people, how I treat people, just how I, fall in love with the process. So just for it, doing that, for me, I can't take it for granted. So yeah, I just love to love to play football. And for me, it's more like if I'm going to do something, why not try to be the best at it? So that's why I push to be one of the greatest. Being different, being bigger, a bigger back, being able to move how I move, it all started to align. And the past 2 years, I've been rushing the ball very efficiently, and I've been getting the game. So like for right now, I feel like I'm in my prime.
You played with Jaden at Arizona State.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talk of coming back here and playing with him and getting to be reunited with him. So for the two of you guys, how nice has it been to be in the same locker room again?
Yeah, it's just good. That brotherhood is just different. It's certain stuff Five could say to me probably that nobody else can, or just other teammates, and obviously I'm building that bond with them, but it's just great. He holds me to a high standard. I hold myself to a high standard. For example, with Five, like I feel like coming back off of the break, I didn't start camp off, like, for me, right into my liking of how I wanted to do. I had like a couple drops the first day or first couple of days. I had like a couple drops or whatever, and I finally got it going and finally got it rolling. I had to get out there, I had to work, I had to lock back in and focus back in. And he called me one night. He was just like, "You good? Like, what's going on? Like, you straight?" Just checking on me, make sure I was good, and just like that. And just telling me like, "Come on, let's do this." Like, what I'm saying, and like lock in and stuff like that. So ever since then, I feel like I've been rolling. I've been making plays when I'm asked to out there, and I've just been competing, man. That's all they can ask. That's what DQ wants, so that's me. I'm a competitor. I'm gonna compete. I'm gonna go hard. Like I said, I'm not gonna take the game for granted. And I want the world if I can have it. So.
Are there any funny Jaden stories you can tell us from college that you can say?
Nah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, Five, like, who he is. Who y'all get out there, that's exactly who he is, like, off the field. I mean, we hang out a lot. I go to his house, he come to my house, just things like that. Like, it's a real brother, like, he a real brother to me. Like, blood couldn't make us any closer, but that's who he is. It's crazy because J-Mac just asked me at practice, he was asking me, like, has Five always been this way, even at Arizona State? I said, man, he hasn't changed a bit. All he did was just get older, maybe mature more, but just being from a young man to a man now, but like, it's been the same way. The smile, the laugh, the way he just played the game. It looks like, looks like art.
Your rookie year in Tampa, was that Brady's last year?
Yeah.
So you played with him for a year?
Sure. Yeah.
I talked to Wes Boker about this before the season, and he said he sees some similarities with how Jaden approaches the game and how Brady approaches the game.
Yeah.
Like, do you also see those similarities?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, I see Five care, right? First one in the building, things like that. A lot of guys after, following right after him. He bringing guys along with him. And he just dived in. Like, he's so locked in. So, like, he own it. He knows everybody's job. He know the offense from, the back of his hand. And, he want to make sure, he put us in position, like, especially as an offense, him being the leader, for him to lead us. And, we follow that lead. So, yeah, for sure, I see some similarities, things like that. I mean, I got a lot of love for Brady, but I've been saying this since I was in Tampa that he's the best quarterback I ever played with.
Welcome back into Game Night. Earlier today, I caught up with Cakes from the Sports Junkies, and we got to talk about the Commanders training camp so far and got his thoughts and impressions on what he's seen out there in Ashburn.
I mean, I think some of the bigger takeaways are it seems like maybe up until yesterday that the defense seemed to be ahead of the offense, which seems to be the case in a lot of training camps. That's a really good sign, though, for the Commanders 2026 edition because we saw how bad the defense was last year in 2025, allowing over 384 yards per game. They just looked completely overwhelmed and overmatched on defense, couldn't force turnovers. And look, Adam Peters and Dan Quinn and the brain trust there, they knew that there needed to be a radical transformation. They needed to get younger, faster, more athletic, add some pieces, and they've done that. They gave Odafe $68 million guaranteed to be their premier pass rusher. They drafted Sonny Styles at number 7. They signed Leo Chanel away from the Kansas City Chiefs to form one of the most athletic linebacker tandems in NFL history when you go by their athletic scores. So they've really poured a lot of money and resources and capital into improving the defense. And we all know that the offense is just going to be carried by Jaden. As long as he can stay healthy and gets back close to, if not the same form as his rookie season, the offense should hum along. It's just the defense needed to be improved dramatically. And from the early portions of training camp, you like the signs that you're seeing from the defense.
Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day, and I want to see if you have the same take. Obviously, it's super easy to be optimistic at training camp, especially early on. But it seems like, comparison to previous years, there's a lot more positive stuff coming out of camp as opposed to negative stuff in terms of like just the way everybody is working and like all of that stuff. Are you getting that sense as well?
Yeah, definitely. And I just think there's no longer the specter hanging over this camp that was the Terry McLaurin hold-in from last year. That's a huge component that makes this camp improved over last year's edition. Terry's there, he's the vet that you wish you had 53 Terry McLaurins on your roster as far as a guy who's dedicated to being a pro. You're never gonna have to worry about off the field stuff with Terry McLaurin. Like he's just about as perfect of an NFL player as you could hope to have on your roster. So not having that distraction, I think, is huge. I think Dan Quinn has gone a lot lighter on rest days for the veterans. Our pal Grant Paulson from 106.7 The Fan tweeted that earlier today that the rest days have been very few and far between for the veterans. We saw a lot of that last year with an older roster. I think the first guy just got one today in Laramie Tunsil. What are we, 5 or 6 days into camp now, second padded practice. So I think the vibes are definitely higher. The intensity has been ratcheted up. So I think the vibes are overall better on this camp than last season, no doubt.
I want to talk a little baseball because obviously the trade deadline was yesterday, and we saw the Nats make a couple of moves over the last week or so. Luis Garcia Jr. last night hit a 2-run go-ahead home run for the Yankees last night, so he's already making an impact in New York. But at the end of the deadline, the Nats got rid of 3 guys, and they get back 8 pitchers and an outfielder in return. Pitching was obviously a weak point for them, so to be able to improve that, just what were your thoughts? And unfortunately, that 4-game losing streak, or getting swept by the Braves, didn't necessarily help keeping guys like Foster Griffin, etc.
Yeah, I mean they've hit a rough patch at the worst time in the schedule for them because it went right up against the MLB trade deadline. So I'm sure that had some impact on the way Paul Taboni and his staff approached how they're going to, assemble this roster going forward down the stretch of this season and into the next few seasons and beyond. I mean, is it painful to lose Foster Griffin to the Guardians? Yes, but he's on a 1-year deal. He's going to be asking for a lot of money that the Nats probably aren't going to pay heading past this season. He's 30 years old. Like, this is the best year he's had in his career. I think Taboni and his staff just looked at this like, is this sustainable? Or are we just going to get some assets for a guy who's had a really remarkable year here in Washington? Same sort of thing with Curtis Mead. I mean, Curtis Mead was a great story. He was just a reclamation project kind of floating out there. Taboni traded for him for Boston Smith, who's actually doing some good work for the White Sox in Double A, I think, at this point. But Curtis Mead, like you're able to flip him into what could be your second or third starter in your rotation in Connolly Early, a 24-year-old who you have player control over until the year 2031. Like you like the moves, but is it going to sacrifice wins this year? Probably when you deal your best pitcher away and you deal away Garcia and Mead. But let's be honest, this team was just kind of overachieving, I think, all the way until late July, and just kind of ran out of steam right around the trade deadline. So I don't fault Taboni for the moves. He has to do that delicate balancing act of trying to keep fans and the clubhouse happy with the product that's on the field this year, while also preparing to, have enough arms and have enough bullpen help and have enough starters to make this a viable roster going forward. So I don't envy him the position he's in. He's got a tough job, especially with a limited payroll here with the learners owning the team, not willing to spend a ton of money on the roster. So I overall like the moves. I like the fact that he brought in a bunch of arms and he's going to try to upgrade, especially the bullpen.
First overall pick.
We'll give you another try.
There's one thing.
First overall pick.
Yeah.
He has to do that.
If there's one thing I can't do, I've never been able to master the spin of the basketball on a finger.
Can't do it. I can do it until it runs out of spin. But like the second I go to hit it, like I must have like a clunky brick of a hand that I just like smash the ball. Like it's done.
Outstanding. All right. That's going to do it for another edition of Game Night. For Jake Rahm, I'm Derek Forrest. Have a good night.